Good afternoon. It is September the 7th, and I'm going to plant a few more cuttings. These are Peter's honey, and I got them from my other location on 7B. And I just thought maybe you would like to join me, keep me company for a while here. It's late to be planting cuttings in the ground, but the ground's still warm. The geothermal energy will last a while, for sure. Experience has taught me. And I do fully expect in 4 weeks to have these pretty well rooted in the ground. Will they survive the winter? I don't know. We never know the answer to those questions. Depends on the severity of the winter and many other factors. Many variables that we can't always control. But I'm going to try. I'm going to put a vinyl coated fence, small fence, a couple foot high, around all of these figs and the other cuttings from 2 years ago. And these are this year, and these are now. And I'll fill it with some grass clippings for mulch, winter mulch, which is imperative. And then I will add leaves and natural debris, rake up the leaves and put them in there inside the vinyl coated fence, and they'll go to sleep and we'll see what happens. But I've never had any problems as long as I properly winter mulch them. They always survive. I don't have any problems with that, but they do have to be cared for in a certain manner, which I've just described. So I'm going to get my little handy tools. You might say, wow, all those tools, Lou, just to plant a few cuttings. Well, I wanted to show exactly how I do it. These have to be done a little bit differently because there's not a lot of time for them to root out. So I'm going to do something I don't usually do. I'm going to dip them in a little bit of this, which I've used in past years, but I find that I don't need it. But it won't hurt, and because we only have 4 good weeks before it starts to cool off. Of course, you can get Indian summer in October, so I could get 6 weeks for these roots to form, and that'd be plenty. I hope that I'm successful. If I'm not, I'll do it again all over. These are beautiful cuttings. Oh, I just wanted to show you this because people have asked me, how do I extract these cuttings that are too close together? First of all, don't put them together like me. I'm just basically fooling around here, even though it is successful. I don't need any more fig trees. I have some of these earmarked for friends, and I will be able to save enough that I need to give out, and I've got others to give out. So it's not a prime directive of mine to make sure that every single cutting has ample space to ensure that when I extract them, I will have the highest degree of success possible. What I do, though, and it does enhance my chances, is I take this tool with a flat end, it's a machete, and I will square off. I will square off each cutting. I'll put it there, I'll pound it down with a hammer. As simple as that. I'll pound it straight down with a hammer, and I'll make a nice square, and then I'll dig out the edges a little bit, and I'll remove it, and then I'll go from one to the next so I can access them at the bottom, and carefully remove wedges of dirt, and get them into little containers or get them into the ground for transplanting. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do that. I'm not worried about it. Now, I did something kind of dumb, which is not unusual for me, because I sometimes do things in a rush, and again, I'm not under any pressure to produce new fig trees, and I don't want to add any to my collection. I don't. And so these are Italian 258s, which are just lovely, aren't they? I've got 4 beautiful babies here. They're beautiful. Look at them. You know, and there's a couple that are okay, and I'll remove them. They didn't do as well. There's always a competition for space and light in a tight enclosure like this. And over here, I have the black Madeira that I put in that I've showed you before, and there's 3 of them. 3 beautiful little baby black Madeira. Now these are entirely too close. I don't even know what I was thinking. Let's see, from here to there is about only 5 inches. And then there's another one in the back, a 3rd one. You can see that. That one I'll be able to get that one off. I'll be able to remove that one more easily. I might lose one of these. I might lose 2 of them, or I might not lose any of them. My intention will be, of course, not to lose any of them. So what I will do now that they are well rooted, and I won't do it on video here because it would just take too long and the video will be too long, but I will take that tool that I said, this, and I will knock them down. I will hit them with the hammer and I'll start the wedges. But I won't remove them. I won't remove them yet. I'll let them go another couple weeks so that their roots can grow into those wedges and solidify and become denser. And that will, I think, substantially increase the probability that they will experience less trauma when I finally do extract them from the ground and put them in little pots. But in this case, I think I'm just going to hit them with the wedge. I'm going to wedge the dirt and leave them and let them overwinter, as I mentioned earlier, and rather than give them away now, because most people, including myself, it won't be very successful with a delicate little young tree, keeping it over winter. Most people don't know exactly how to do it. And so I just think it would be safer for me to just leave them here and let them take their chances and give them as much protection as I can. Over here I mentioned in a previous, I've been keeping tabs on these just for your entertainment, for those of you that are following along. These were just so easily done. All I did was, and I want to show this, I take a tool like that, okay, and it's about 5.5 inches long or something. I don't think, yeah, about 5. And I pound it all the way down, and I wiggle it around, and then I plant my cuttings into that. Most of my cuttings, I like to keep about 6 inches long, but I can go 7 inches. I'm going to nip these off. I don't like, a lot of this is personal preference that you're going to be hearing. I don't like at all long cuttings. I like thick, healthy cuttings. The thicker, I think, the greater your chances of success. These are nice, these are beautiful cuttings, aren't they? Beautiful? Let me get them out of here. Okay. I should clean them up a little bit more, but they're beautiful, beautiful. This is what I call a cutting. These all have terminal buds, which I think is a good idea too. You don't need to, because you can see here, I wish I had another hand here. Let me try. You can see these little nodes are ready to explode, okay? And there you have the leaf scar below it, where I knocked off the leaves. And I let these soak in this water for about 4 or 5 days to hydrate them. And I believe that that's a good process to do. You give them a head start on the hydration, because remember, they're going to struggle with no roots. They're going to struggle for a while until the roots finally start to emerge from the cambium. The cambium, I scratch it right there, see there? And you could take a little deeper scratch, longer. Some people chop or take a knife and actually cut, like they're sharpening the stick or something. I don't do that because I don't think it's necessary. I actually think it's harmful. I think you're better off with a flat bottom and just scratch so that the roots will more easily emerge from the cambium. Then I bury these, and remember, I'll take a little off this. I'll take a little off this because it's just a little too long. And I will leave only the terminal bud and maybe one other, in this case, because they're close together, one other node exposed above the ground. Hey, what are you doing? You coming out here to be with me and keep me company? Hey, Deb. Wow, I could. You know what, Deb? Would you help me out a little bit? You will. If you would just hold the camera, because I don't know if I have this darn thing. I have a bad habit of putting these things on Zoom. Yeah, it was on Zoom again. A little bit of Zoom. I don't know why. But anyway, I'm just explaining what I'm going to do with these cuttings. I've got so much to talk about. I don't know what I'm going to do. I saw some Yates persimmons over there I wanted to talk about. You sent me out to get some figs. I wanted to go over those for some breakfast, but now it's past lunch. I'm just so far behind. I cut the grass, and it took me hours and hours to cut the grass. I'm just really, I'm just booked up all my time. Non-stop. And non-stop. It just never stops. And gosh, I tell you, it's an arduous schedule. But I do want to get these planted in the ground. I was just saying that I like them about 6 inches, nice and thick. And I like them with terminal buds. You don't need that. You're not always going to have the convenience of being able, or the availability of cuttings with terminal buds. You could cut them off. I could make 2 cuttings out of this, and I guarantee you they would grow. You only need to be a few inches under the ground. If you keep them hydrated, you got to water them. Now, I like for there to be about 4 or 5 inches under the ground. That's it. Now, some people like to put the long cuttings way in the ground. I don't like that. It's a matter of personal preference. The reason why is because down below there's going to be more moisture and they could rot more easily. You don't need to do that. And then when it's time to extract them, it gives you conniptions. It's more difficult to extract them without causing trauma to the root system. It's much more difficult. I like to keep everything shallow, say from where my thumb is up, and then I don't have to dig down as deep to extract the cuttings and get them into another location, transplant them, or put them into pots, or whatever I might decide to do with them. That's just my preference. Of course, it's going to require that you add more water more frequently, okay, because the top of the ground is going to dry out from the sun and the heat, and there's not going to be as much moisture there. But you don't want too much moisture because it can really rot out your cutting. So, and you don't want them too shallow either. You try to maintain a balance. Always a balance. A balance is always better in life. Here's a nice cutting, nice size. I put that in the ground. You see, here's the length of what I use to do it. And you see, when I'm done, see that? There'll be a little bit sticking out of the ground. And that's all you want. You want a little to stick out of the ground so that it doesn't dry out, or it's not subjected to the sun. Here I'm in the shade under my Sajo tree. I've explained that before. That's where I do my cuttings in summertime if I don't get them started. And I found out something too over many, many years ago, and I'm going to share it with you. You probably haven't heard this, but I'm going to say it. You might not agree with it, and that's fine. But I've learned that early season cuttings in the ground is not really a good idea, because the ground is still too cold, and cold is bad. And believe me, the ground will stay cold for a long time. Remember, it was there all winter long. And just because all of a sudden the sun comes out in the spring and you look around and go, wow, what a beautiful day. It's going to be 78 degrees today. The ground doesn't know that. Okay? The earth is cold. So I find that maybe a week or 2 before the solstice, and that's late. That's late by many people's standards. But a week or 2 before the solstice is a perfect time. Let's say early June, maybe even mid-June. It's certainly not too late. In fact, you can go all the way up to July, and you've got a perfect scenario in which to grow very, very successful cuttings with a high probability of success. Trust me on that. Trust me. Even now, I'm not going to have a problem because the earth is already warmed up. And it takes a long, long, long time for the earth to warm up in the summer and to cool down in the fall and winter. It takes a long time. So I'm okay. And I think you're better off. I really do think you're better off if you wait for in-ground planting of your cuttings. A lot of people put them in too early, and that's why they don't have a high success ratio. And they rot, or they don't do well, or they get sick, they become sick and unhealthy. Well, that's the reason why. Wait for the ground to thoroughly warm up. And warmth is extremely important for cuttings. It really is. And so I'm going to get these in the ground. Come here. What, do you want to play? Okay. Oh, give me that. I can't reach it. Come on, Papa. Come here. Let me have that. Oh boy, you're like a lion, aren't you? Okay, let me have it. All right, well, Deb, if you could come over here, I'm just going to show. What's that? All right, I'm going to pound this into the ground. Now, let me tell you what I did too. Is with my trusty shovel over there, I broke this ground up last night, but I was very careful I didn't want to overturn it. And I just shoved the shovel down and I broke up the ground so that the water will drain nicely and it will oxygenate the ground, the dirt. And the reason why I did that without turning it over is because when you do that, you will inevitably create air pockets in the ground. And the worst thing that you want to do is put your cutting in too loosely managed dirt where there are air pockets and things, because if it gets caught in an air pocket, it's not going to be good for the cutting, and it's going to cut down on the possibility of it surviving. So I like to keep the dirt rather compacted. I loosen it, I oxygenate it, I cut down with my shovel. I even bang with this. I bang this into the ground with my hammer. I actually took that and I banged it down, and then I wiggled it a bit every couple inches all the way across. And this way I loosen the ground sufficiently so that water will permeate and oxygen, but it's not going to form any air pockets. I don't want any air pockets. So that when I pound this down, okay, which I can't do with this camera, but now another reason why I like using this thing here too, okay, there's a reason, because the bottom of this now is flat. See, you can hear it, listen, hear that? It's flat like that. And that's what I want too. I want, when this goes down, I want that cutting to go right into the bottom and touch. I want it to be level with the dirt so that the roots, once they sprout, they will always be in contact with soil. Okay, so I just work this out, and I'm going to do a better job when I'm finished here. Debbie got busy, so
I'm back.
that's okay. I'm almost finished. I think I've showed. Now I'm going to cut these down. I'm going to shorten them to about this length, and I'm going to, once I get a free hand, I'm going to hammer. You want to? It's not working out too good. I can't get down there too good.
Need a different tool?
No.
Well, I can hold the camera.
That's okay. All right, well, if you want to. I don't have anything to do. Now, why don't you sit down? Here we go.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. You want to take that? I'm almost finished.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay. Anyway.
That could be how I get a word in edgewise with this.
I can't do it right because I gotta go around with that thing. I think you're gonna hit the camera and it's gonna go off.
Okay, where do I? I've done that quite a few times.
Yeah, you've done that too many times. And I think
I'm just
gonna listen.
Where's the button?
You just have to stick with this thing. I can't do it because I only have one hand. And
okay, well,
my hands are weak anyway.
What do you call it?
But you got to hammer it down and not let the dirt get in there. And then you got to pull it up slowly and get the hole to where you can get that thing all the way down to right to there. I could do it if I had two hands, and I will do it for all of those. And then I'll plant them, and this time I'm going to put them a little further apart. I'm going to plant them right around the corner there. and I'll have them all
Make
planted.
another border.
What's that?
You have to make another
Yeah,
border.
I might just get some bricks. I'll get some bricks. I'll just put some bricks, lay some bricks along here so that we don't hit it with the lawnmower or the weed whacker. That's good enough. And I hope they take. I think they'll have enough time to take. Aren't they pretty? Aren't they nice?
They're nice.
Oh, they're beautiful,
Nice.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Peter's honey cuttings from the island. Just
Yeah,
gorgeous,
really
aren't they?
nice. Yeah.
I like them like that, nice and healthy. That's the way, these are healthy branches.
Yeah.
And they're going to grow into healthy trees.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
There they go.
So I'm not going to even make another video with all the figs and all and the persimmons
Oh, you can save that for another time.
yeah, I'll save that for another time because
Get this
I've got
job
some
done.
persimmons that fell off last night.
Ah.
And with the American persimmons, I've said before, they will, when they're ripe, they will, unlike the Japanese,
Yeah.
which never fall off unless you
Yeah,
clip
they
them.
stay on.
Yeah, they stay on. But the persimmons, the American persimmons, they'll fall off when they're ripe, and they're perfectly ripe. You just bring them in the house, wash them off, and they're ready to eat. And I've got a few Yates. I guess I can walk over there real quick just to show that. I just
Gotta get up.
I caught a couple birds over here, Deb. My Nikita's gift are getting ripe. You can see they're getting color to them now. Can you see that? I think you can. And I caught a couple birds over here a little while ago. But they can have a couple. Here, you want a fig?
Oh, no. You can't have that.
You can't have them, Pops. It's going to make you sick.
Make you sick. Get out of there.
Come on, Poppy.
Oh, we gotta clean these
Come on
up.
out of there.
We gotta clean these up a couple
There you
times.
Got some figs here.
Hey, get away from it, 'cause I think there's a big
Beautiful
dog roach.
figs.
What is that?
I can't see. I got a glare on here, huh?
I thought I saw a big wasp or something.
I got to pick up. There a couple fell down
Yeah,
there.
I'm gonna go get a little.
I got to
rabbit.
get them
I'm
off
gonna
the
get them
ground
out.
so
Okay,
we
get
don't
out of there.
encourage any
Come on, get out of
bugs
there.
and
We're gonna
things.
get bit by something that was in there. Come on. Come on out.
Where's she at? What's
She's
she
over
doing?
there, and
Hey, you can't eat them, Pops.
we gotta clean them up.
You can't have them. Yeah, I got to clean up around here. Work, work, work. Oh gosh, does it ever end? No. In fact, I'm going to publish a video now when I shut this one off. Not this one, but the one I did a day or two ago. You might find it interesting. Okay, here are some of the persimmons that are falling off. These are the Yates, and let's see. There we go. They're beautiful. Beautiful Yates. These are very delicious. They don't look as good as they taste. I made a video with Debbie and I were picking these. I think it was last year or the year before. But you can see there's lots of them up there. Everything's so beautiful, isn't it? Wow, the weather's beautiful, nice. The 7th of September. Okay, look at all those persimmons up there. All getting ripe now. Every day there'll be some more. They're delicious. These are delicious American persimmons. I love these. I just had to put a net over my Alma. The birds were just tearing them apart this morning, and I'm trying to save as many figs now as I can because they're going to start getting scarce. They're going to become scarce now. There's not going to be as many getting ripe, and so I want to keep as many as I can from the birds. So I didn't have a net on this tree because this is my latest in-ground variety, and I went away on vacation and they got ripe when I was gone and there was no net. My son didn't throw a net over it, so the birds got a bunch of them, but there's always plenty. I've eaten a lot since I've gotten back too, and they're a very delicious, wonderful fig that I certainly do like and recommend very much. I like it. And so now I'm going to try to preserve. See the birds working on that one there. And there was another one on the other side. But they're almost all finished too. In another week they'll be done. We got green ones here that will get ripe, and that will hopefully keep the birds away from them. My other trees are almost finished, really. This is the Malta Black, and there's a few figs here and there that I will pick every day and that are voluptuously delicious. But you will remember the previous videos that I made just a few weeks ago. This tree was completely heavily laden with all kinds of fruit. And so was this one. So were they all. And now we're coming down to the final stretch for the summer. I've taken the net off of the Ronde Bordeaux because there's none. They're just all gone. There are none that I see, not even one remaining on the branches. So I took the net off and I put it over my Alma today. I should have done it several days ago when I came back from vacation, but I've been so busy in the yard. I haven't even been able to take a breather, really. And so I finally did get to it today. Here's a beautiful, this is a Celeste. There's not many left on this tree either. This is my dad's tree. And I hope you can see that. Can you? I don't know. Yeah. This is a beautiful fig. Look at that. It's not quite ripe yet, and I'm going to let it get ripe. But there's only a few more. You can see there's a few green figs there. There's a few, so I leave the net on because I want every single one of these. There's a couple more green ones right there. Can you see that? So it certainly has fruit getting ripe, a couple a day, and that's fine because they're just exquisite in nature and in flavor. I love them when they get perfectly ripe. You wouldn't believe how much I look forward to coming around here and getting these figs off there. I say, oh, it's just Celeste. It's not rich, it's just a sugar fig. Let me tell you something. I know I've said this ad nauseum, but I love Celeste. I love this one. And somebody coming by with some music. Well, let me show you this too very quickly. This is Pastilliere. I featured this tree and me planting it earlier in the summer. And I just wanted to show you just how beautiful this tree is. Isn't it beautiful? Deb, look how pretty the Pastilliere is. Can you see it? They're the characteristic leaves of such.
Yeah.
And Debbie's picking up, look at that. She's picking up all the figs that have fallen. Got to keep a clean garden, a clean orchard. Isn't that a pretty tree?
Yeah.
Now next year I hope it really grows well and produces a lot of fruit. Well, okay, fellow figsters, I'm going to wrap things up. Come on, come over here and play with my dog a little bit and have a cup of coffee, spend some time with Debbie, and we're going to take a ride to the store.
Okay, Papa, come over here, honey.
Come on over here. Come on.
Are these any good, or I don't know, am I tossing these, or are these good?
I'll look them over.
Okay.
I'll look them over. I can't eat another thing, Deb. I'm so figged out and sugared out. There we go. Okay. You want to add anything, Deb? Come on, you're the best part of my videos, really, anyway.
Uh-oh.
Well,
I'm glad there's still
we'll take a
some
ride.
figs.
We're going to take a ride now over to Delaware to the store, right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe. It's getting late. I don't think we're going to
Oh
make it
gosh,
today.
I
Late.
I'll
it
tell
looks
you.
like the rain's coming, so
Yeah, it was raining when I started doing this. When I
Yeah.
started,
it cleared up a little bit, but it looks like it's still
But look at
in
the
the background.
lawn. Look at that.
Yeah.
I've been working
Okay,
on.
that's done.
Yeah, it's finished now. I'm tired though. I'm tired of it. You know.
Well,
Yeah.
how could you be tired of it? Before you know it, it'll be cold and
Yeah, I
I
know.
wish I had some
I won't
fresh
miss it.
stuff.
I won't miss it. I promise you, not this year. I've had it enough. 44 years, 45 years is enough out here. You know, I've had enough of it, really. I still love it out here, the location, but the work, sheesh, you know, it definitely takes away from my. Oh, look!
What?
Did you see that?
No.
Wow, it was a beautiful
Oh,
hummingbird.
don't tell me I missed it.
It was gorgeous. It was just, it came right over, it was like looking at us, and then
I keep missing it.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's only
but
a couple of them left
There's only
now.
a couple left now. I know. So whenever
I saw a beautiful goldfinch again
yeah,
today.
the hummingbirds are definitely becoming.
Yeah, they've relocated now. They're on their migration.
Heading south or whatever.
Yeah, they're doing their migration thing. Yeah. Well, with that,
Oh, there he is.
where is he? Where is he?
Hi, buddy. Oh, he just went near the other fig tree. Oh, now he's coming back near the red maple.
Yeah, I see him on the red maple. Yeah. Oh yeah, there he is. There he is. There he is. Come here, little friend.
Oh, they're gonna miss you guys.
They love that persimmons tree, don't
Yeah,
they?
they do. Oh, there he goes back again. He's like a little.
My viewers must
He's
think
so
I'm nuts.
fast. He's
I
so
see storm
fast.
clouds in the distance. It's gonna rain, Deb.
Yeah, they said showers.
Okay.
Maybe he's over at. No, is he over at the?
Well, we'll walk over here.
Bumblebee that keeps interrupting the. Look at that big bumblebee on there.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get him off.
He's looking for sugar off the hummingbird feeder.
Yeah, now the hummingbird. can't
Wow,
get
he's
it.
a
I have to
he's a
put
pretty
some
nasty
water on
looking
that
fellow.
sugar. Come up and down, Henry.
Look at that.
Up, up.
Okay. Well, he has a right to have some food too, you know.
Yeah, but I have to put some water on it so it doesn't attract them. Maybe some water.
Hey, by the way, everybody that hung in here,
What?
I'm not saying anything. I have to tell you that the snake that we didn't tell Debbie about, I made a little video of me releasing the snake, and I'm going to post that video soon, and then I'm going to hide it. So stay tuned for that. I think the title might be The Fate of the Snake or something like that. So look out for that, and you'll see what happened to the snake. What, Deb? Oh, and she comes over. She's pretty smart. She wants to know what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything. All right, are we all finished?
I think so.
God, what did you do? Just wash it
I'm
up?
just putting some water on there to keep the ants. There's a
Oh,
little,
that's a good idea.
There's a little lip in there that you could put on there to keep the ants and the
Is there?
away.
Oh, water on the top. Look at, is that what they do?
Come out of there. There might be
Look at
poison
that.
or
To keep the
something in
ants
there.
from getting. Okay, you.
Get out of there.
So if you keep water on the top of that, it's sort of like a moat, a protective moat that prevents a. What's the matter?
She went in there, and I don't know if there's poison in there. I don't want her in there.
Okay, Poppy, it's time to go back in the house. We're gonna go in the house. We can't keep an eye on you. She's a piece of work.
No time for that.
It's beautiful out here, isn't it?
Jacket.
I'm gonna get my coffee now.
You're supposed to be planting the.
Oh yeah, I'll get them. I gotta cut them make them a little shorter. Okay, with that. Oh, I did mention that I was going to this time use a little bit of this root stimulant, and I will do that. And what I'll do, so I complete this, is I will wet them. I will just simply wet them, and I will rub a little bit of this on. That's what I do. And I scrape them and cut them to the right length, and then I'll wet them and I'll rub some of this powder on, and that's all I do. I don't really dip them in it. I just rub it on, and then I'm just going to put them in the ground. You don't need that. You really don't need it with figs, 9 times out of 10. Will it hurt? Probably not. Will it help me this time? Probably not. But since it won't hurt, I'll gamble with it and put it on. So, because again, it's getting a little late in the season. I hope you enjoyed today's video as much as I did. I always enjoy your visits. Good day.